One, two, one, two, one, two, three, four. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody.
Good afternoon, or morning, or evening, depending on where you are on planet Earth. We've been having people from all over the world watch this show lately. So I don't know what time it is where you are, but I am Bruce Leonard, of course, and thank you for tuning in to another hour of Bruce Leonard Leans Left while it's still legal. It's still legal today, but there's a lot of, as usual, a lot of shit happening. We are. There's a peace deal, maybe. It's a memorandum of understanding. It's like 2 pages long. I'm not kidding. This is where we're at. And the 2 pages, it doesn't really do anything except supposedly opens the Strait of Hormuz, but no one knows how or how that's going to work. And it opens up a 60-day window for them to negotiate the rest of the shit that they're that. It's such a pathetic situation. First of all, the very fact that you can't trust what Trump is saying. No, Blue Apollo, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I was getting ready to tell you. Is if this was a good deal, you would see it. Donald Trump would be waving it around like he's not even going to be there when they sign it. He said to J.D. Vance. Because no matter how he tries to spin it, he got played. He's in over his head. Take the reflect. Have you seen the reflecting pool, Blue Apollo? It looks like a hillbilly pond now. $20 million he spent to turn it blue. It was blue for about a day. Now it's green, like I said, like a farm pond. And then, I don't know if you watched that fight or whatever it was the other night because it was behind a paywall. It's like, it's a gift to the American people if you have a Paramount Plus subscription. But anyway, don't get no more white trash than that. And now there's a hillbilly pond in front of the Washington Monument. And all the gold and tacky, like the only thing missing in the White House is those lamps with the strings on them, when the oil goes down, and velvet paintings of Elvis. I have not. I have not. Yeah, it's so not that we had to make a sign because so many of you come here. Call me Jewish. Apparently you've never heard my feelings about Israel. People be asking me if I'm Jewish. No, I am not. But I am not anti-Semitic. Don't take it that way. But I am definitely against the Israeli government. Benjamin Netanyahu is a piece of shit monster. Yes, it is, Luke. It is my real voice. Someone one day said I was using a voice changer. No, I'm not using a voice changer. I just sound like this. UFO Gaming says I don't support Jewish. I'm not against them. See, that's the thing. That's what I mean. Is like if you talk about Israel, then people say you're anti-Semite or against Jewish people, and it's like it's not that at all. It's just like saying I hate Trump, which would mean I hate all Americans, which I don't. I am one of them. It's like I'm sure there's lots of people. Luke says most all people in power are monsters. Well, that's true. A lot of them. But there's a lot of, I think, people who are benevolent and really want to help their people. Um, but yeah, I mean, you definitely have to have a certain amount of ruthlessness to even play the game, don't you think? I've thought about that in my life. You know, like if you're in the entertainment business, you got to be a backstabbing, fucking cold blooded piece of shit who's willing to steal a spot from your best friend if it's if it's gonna help your career. That's like, and I've never been able to be like that. And I think that's one of the things that's held me back from achieving like the ultimate. Yeah, like I've done okay, but I'm saying achieving ultimate success. You have to be, I believe, somewhat ruthless or lucky. One of those two things, or a combination of both. That's saying. But I just don't have the ruthlessness in me. You know, like I've always tried to help other comedians if I can. You know, like I always felt like it was like a brotherhood. You got to try to. UFO Gaming says ice killing cold blood in USA. Yes, yes, they are. I don't support that either. Believe me. That's what a lot of this show is about. I said, let's talk about. Luke says determined. Yes. Well, no, I don't lack determination. It's like, you have to have a lot of factors, and I said luck. Luck is a big part of it, but a lot of people don't want to admit that, but it's true. You know, I hate when a guy makes it finally, and they go, "Oh, this guy! Look at this! He's an overnight success." And let me tell you right now, from being in the entertainment business my entire life, right? There is no overnight success. There were hours and hours and hours and thousands of hours that the guy probably drove miles and miles around the country playing little shit bars or whatever he could get, you know, for years and years and years before you heard who he was. And then they go, he was an overnight success. That would imply like the guy like decided he wanted to try stand up, and in 1 year he achieved success, you know, like. Like that doesn't happen. UFO Gaming says the USA is a dangerous place because of guns like groceries. Yeah, it is a dangerous place. I live here. Like just the other night, me and Laura went to see The Lion King, right? Which means we had to go downtown where the Aronoff Center is, where the theater is. It's downtown. And after the show, we came out and we're walking down the street, and there's a bus stop, and there's two people, you know, world star shit, you know, getting ready to get into a fight at the bus stop. And Laura was like, yeah, see, this is how people get shot. Like, they start fucking. Blue Paul says, no better than anywhere else in the West. It's all dangerous. We have a gun problem over there. They have Aladdin. Well, over there, you can get stabbed. Europe seems to have a stabbing problem all of a sudden. You're like, they can't get their hands on guns, so they just go out and stab people. But all of that is, like I've been saying on this show for a long time, the internet is not good for humanity. It's not good for people's minds. It fucks up people. Like, there's too many fragile people. And they get online, and there's all these black holes that they can fall down, and that they get radicalized, and it's just too easy to manipulate people. And you have all these lonely, disaffected people, and like I said, you got people like Musk telling them, it's because you're white. It's just some secret cabal, like I was saying before, that has meetings where they discuss how they can get rid of the white race. It's like, yes, Ken says, isn't Trump and Bibi beefing? Yes. Because Israel's not about to accept this deal. The deal, yes, Lee Elliott, the internet is a weapon. It is. I was talking about that before. It's a constant, like, it's a psyop. that's going on all the time because there's other countries who have bots and trolls who are on the internet inside of your country trying to fuck with your mind. And I'm sure we do it in other people's countries. I mean, they don't talk about it, but I'm sure we do because Russia has troll farms and bot farms. You know that this is true. That they're trying to manipulate, and they do it in every country. You know that's how they prop up Orban and people like that for years and years and years. You know, it's like I said, it's a psyop and a sewer of misinformation, propaganda. Like you have to have serious critical thinking skills to be able to use the internet effectively. Otherwise, like I said, you get sucked into. I'm lucky because I said when I was born, I said there were no fucking computers or anything like that. So we were taught to think. So I usually don't run with the story. Hey, Lusa09, I am Bruce Leonard. Do you not read the channel? I was a stand-up comedian, but now I can't tour, so I'm doing this. UFO Gaming says, I proudly support Trump. Please tell me why. First of all, where are you? Because you were talking about America, so you're somewhere else. So please tell us where you're at, and then tell us why you support Trump. I don't know why anybody supports Trump at this point. Did you see that ballroom now? Right? First it was 200. 200 million. We're going to pay for it ourselves. No taxpayer money. There was 400 million. Then they were trying to get $1 billion. Remember that in the bill? They were like, we need $1 billion to build a bunker underneath India. Now, welcome. A lot of people from India have been watching lately. You guys made the list of most watched countries. Thank you, Elliot. If you have anything to say, you can. If you have an opinion on what's going on in the world. So there's a 2-page memorandum that he won't let anyone see. And just for reference, I wanted to tell you, the deal that Trump tore up, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, known as the JPC or JCPOA, which was Obama's deal, right? It was 159 pages long. 18 pages of core text outlining the agreement alongside 141 pages of detailed technical annexes. Now, do you think that J.D. Vance or Jared Kushner or Steve Witkoff are going to be able to negotiate some shit like this? Luke says the American people are too split. It may be time for states to leave the union. I've been saying that for a long time now on this show. As a matter of fact, I'm for peaceful secession. I think that we should draw the line and split the country. And let them have their racist utopia, whatever they're trying to achieve, because they're holding the rest of us back. Yesterday, a B-52 bomber crashed. Did you see that? Right? Do you think it's a coincidence that they got rid of the DEI? And they started not promoting, like, people of color and promoting mediocre white dudes again. And now, all of a sudden, like, there's crashes all the time. And things are fucking up. Like I said, they're holding the rest of us back. What is that, Blue Apollo? Please speak. You've never been shy to speak. I'm just telling you, it's 159-page documents with 18 pages of core text and 141 pages of detailed technical annexes. And what are you getting from Trump? 2 pages. Then he won't even let you see. And 60 more days to negotiate the rest. It took him 2.5 years to do this. These guys are in way over their head, bro. Yes. It's ridiculous. Meanwhile, and we just take this. Like, I didn't finish at the ballroom. It was 400 million, right? And then they tried to get $1 billion from the bill the Republicans killed that. Peacemaker? What the fuck is that supposed to mean? What's peaceful about it? He didn't bomb the shit out of 13 countries. Kidnapped the president of one country. Got the Strait of Hormuz closed. He's a peacemaker. I find that an interesting take. I've been saying that today. I think the Board of Peace is just it's real. I believe it to be so. It's just another scam. It's another like Trump bombs the shit out of your country, and then he comes and he says, "Hey, the Board of Peace will invest in your country by building hotels and resorts and golf courses." You think this is peace, Blue Apollo? He says peace through strength. What kind of strength? Trump's a huge pussy. He just got defeated. Are you gonna sit here and pretend that like Fox News, like that he won somehow? He didn't win shit. He did 2 pages that says, "Please open the strait." Please, 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 pretty please. I don't know if you know this, but he knows this. We're about to run out of oil. I told you about them pipes. They fall below that pipe. Fuck Ted Cruz. Blue Apollo says, I hate that slogan. It's Ted Cruz's favorite slogan. Ted Cruz, what a fucking spineless fucking slug that guy is. Oh, I forgot to tell you. So this happened. I got fucking kicked out of... Apparently it was a huge glitch, right? And a bunch of people got thrown out of their Facebook accounts. But in my case, I have an alt account that I've had for years because when I used to go to Facebook jail all the time, this guy made me an account. He's like, use this account when you're in jail. So then when I got banned for life, all the people that followed me were following that account already. So I was like, I just took up with that one. But anyway, so here's the deal. I added my phone number to that account too. So when I got locked out, it kept trying to send a text to this phone number that's not my phone. So I couldn't get back in. So then I had to be like, try another way. So they were like try another way. So I said, try the way. They said, take a 360-degree picture of your face, and they'll compare it to all your pictures, and then that'll say that it's you, right? So I did that, and then they're like, yes, you've passed. It is you. Here's the code to get back into your account. So I go back to use the code to get back into my account. I put it in, and it immediately goes to the page. It goes, we sent the text message to this number. It's not yours. So I was in this like black hole loop for like days. It was like 3 days. And at Facebook, there's no number to call. There's nobody to talk to. So finally, I just got frustrated. I said, fuck it. I'll just make a new account, which I should have done a long time ago with my real name. But I had to lay low for a while because I was banned for life. No, I am not Donald Trump, Red Abuna. Do I sound like Donald Trump? Really? I'm not orange. And these lights have a little yellowish, I think. But anyway, so I had to make a new account. So now I'm not Adam Chancellor anymore on Facebook. I'm on Bruce Leonard. And that's just what I was getting ready to say, Luke, which takes me to my point about I fucking hate Facebook. I hate them. It's like, this is the third fucking time that I've had war with Facebook. And then, so check this out. So here was the point. So I go to set up the stream, right? Because I was like, well, I got to get rid of the other channel because it's going to broadcast to my account that's locked that I can't even get to anymore. So I go to set it up and I connect it to this one. And then it says, oh, you can't broadcast until you're on here for 60 days. And I was like, you motherfucking sons of bitches. Facebook sucks, but there's a lot of people I know on there. I spent a lot of years cultivating Facebook. Like I said, long time. UFO Gaming says, I love Instagram. Chicks and OnlyFans. Luke says Facebook has the 55 plus Americans brainwashed. That is true. That is true. 100%. Especially now when your feed is. That's one thing I noticed when I got my new account. My feed was back to like normal. It was like a normal Facebook feed where it's just my friends' posts and the things like it used to be. Because I haven't been on there long enough for them to start algorithming me and fucking. They'll start sending me again. They'll start sending me like conservative talk radio clips and the Daily Wire and fucking that guy with no socks. What the fuck his name is? Matt Walsh. You know what I'm saying? That's all my other feed was. Just scroll down. It's like Matt Walsh, Victor Hansen. It's like. Luke says people use Facebook as a search engine. See, I don't do that. I never have. I never really used Facebook for anything more than to read news and to gather memes. It's like a meme farm. Or to make stuff. You know, I make a lot of my own memes and put them on, you know. But like I said, I spent a lot of years cultivating Facebook page. And just when it was really, really going, they fucking pulled the plug on me and fucking banned me for life. Then I said I switched over to the Adam Chancellor thing. I've been using that for years, and now I'm locked out of that. So I had to start over again. Blue Apollo says people use TikTok as a search engine. They literally figure out how to do things on their social media apps. Well, you could do that on YouTube too. You can go on YouTube, be like when I had to fix the dryer here. I was like, I don't know how to fix a dryer. So my dad was like, go on YouTube and just put in at fix a dryer. And if you put fix a dryer, there was like fucking 100 videos. Click one, start watching. The guy fucking slowly demonstrated how to change the heating coil. So I just followed the directions and fix the dryer. Luke says, maybe you need True Social. Right? Or Lindell TV. The My Pillow Network. Boo Paul says, True Social is awesome. Yeah, cause it's just the fucking psychotic ramblings of the President of the United States. I go to True Social, that's all I see is Trump's posts. Is there anybody else posting? I don't even know how it works. I only go there to read his. Luke says YouTube University is the greatest part of the internet. Yeah, no, that's what I said. Like, YouTube has a lot of positive features, that's for sure. There's a lot of cool music interviews and shit like that. There's shit where like I follow this chick's an opera singer, and she like breaks down rock vocals. She'll be like breaking down like System of a Down and she has a mixer so she can take all the music off so all I can hear is the vocals, and then she fucking explains how great they are. She was doing it with Tool too, like she would just take Tool and like she'd mix out all the music so all you can hear was Maynard. It's like what he's doing, his voice is incredible. Like, you know, it's hard to really respect how incredible it is until you hear it like that when it's just all alone. You're like, damn. UFO Gaming says YouTube is addiction. I know, like my dad, this is true, my dad retired, right? And he used to play basketball, work on his house. That was his hobbies. But then he fucking retired, and one day he got on YouTube and he started watching YouTube videos about guns. And ever since then, he's just been buying guns and watching YouTube videos about guns. It's like he went down the black hole. That's what I thought. It was like a rabbit hole. It can suck you down a rabbit hole. See, I'm on YouTube, but I don't watch it very much. I have, like I said, I do watch, like I said, the music. MMA Unk says, my cousin who has Down syndrome built a gaming console and we called it System of a Down. That's awesome. That's awesome. UFO Gaming says YouTube is similar to Blue Films. Well, what is Blue Films? I'm not familiar with what that is. YouTube is cool because I said anybody can fucking do it. So it's just like anything else. So there's a lot of garbage on it, but there's a lot of good stuff. But it's hard to find it. And then like I said, then the algorithm starts feeding you shit. Yes, MMA Young says don't get high on your own supply. That's what I'm saying. I don't watch it. I only do this, like I said, I could have had I was a comedian for years and years. I could have had a podcast a long time ago, but everyone has one. It's fucking cliche. So I never did it. But until I was forced to by circumstance. I said, like, I can't tour anymore if you can't perform. I know, Luke, you're watching me on YouTube right now. That's what I just said. I said, I'm on it, but I don't spend a lot of time watching it. Because I know you can fall down them rabbit holes. And you could. Yes, UFO Gaming YouTube has a lot of fan base. Yes, there's millions and millions and millions of people from all over the world. It's like you're in India, and we're talking right now. It's amazing. Yes, Blue Apollo, free speech platform. Exactly. MMA says, who is my comedian GOAT? Mine is Brendan Schaub. To me, it's like a really close tie between George Carlin and Bill Hicks. If I had to pick, I guess I would say Bill Hicks. But it's hard because Bill didn't live as long as George. So Bill didn't put out 18 hours of work. But he would have. He was well on his way. He put 4 or 5 out and he died in his mid-30s. So, Bill Hicks, his life got cut short. So, it's not fair to compare them, I don't think, because I said George lived to be old. Yes, he's the greatest. One of the greatest, for sure. Like I said, it's George and Bill. That's if you ask me. But see, there's the difference. Before I ever did comedy, right? I always knew about comedy and listened to a bunch of comedians of it. And like I always listened to George Carlin. But George was so great that you didn't think like that he was just a guy like you. Like George was like listening to a college professor like give a lecture. You know what I mean? Like he was so ahead of and the stuff he was dropping down was so heavy, it was like I said, it was like listening to a professor or something. But Bill was at the time I was an angry guy at a rock band, and when I first heard Bill, it was like, dude, this guy's angry. Like there's not much of a leap between what I'm doing in this band and what Bill is doing in comedy, and you're like, I could do that, maybe, and it inspired me to try. And that's how I got into comedy in the first place. So I have to say Bill, if it wasn't for Bill, I said he was the comic that I heard. I was like, I want to do that. Like he's yelling at the world, like George was yelling at the world, but he wasn't yelling. Like he didn't do it in an angry way. He did it, like I said, like a college professor. Just like said, like giving a lecture. UFO says, what do you think about Ukrainian Prime Minister, also a comedian? He's doing comedy with his own country. That's not true. What do you mean? He's managed them through this war, and Russia hasn't won. He's done pretty good for a comedian, don't you think? And there's nothing funny about him anymore. You ever notice that? He don't make jokes no more. He's a much more serious person. I happen to like Zelensky. I think that, like I said, if more countries had leaders like that, it'd be a better world. I think that, like I said, we've allowed ourselves. Blue Paw says Ukraine is definitely not going to win. Yeah, but they're not going to lose. It's a Vietnam type situation. Russia's going backwards now. Don't you know that, Blue Apollo? They're not. I mean, not like by leaps and bounds, but they're not going forward. Ukraine has slowly captured a little bit of that Donbass back. And they're building more and more sophisticated drones to be able to hit farther and farther inside of Russia. So, Russia's not going to win either. But that's what I'm saying. It's a war. No one wins. I wish that more people would say that. No one ever wins at a war, no matter what. Even the winner fucking loses because you lost a lot of people. People got killed. You lost blood. You lost treasure. You lost prestige sometimes, like us. Like this war in Iran, has done nothing but hurt the reputation of the United States with everybody. It's going to take decades to recover from this. No one's going to trust us anymore if you say, look, what the kind of clown that can be elected every 4 years. And this guy at the fucking UFC fight that yelled out, Michelle Obama's a man or whatever. Fuck it. First of all, what an asshole. But second of all, are they really still talking about the Obamas? It's been just like almost, it's been almost 15 years. It's like, it's unbelievable. It's like this. The fixation these people have. Won't let it go. It's like, dude, he's been gone. I said for almost 15 years. You've had Trump twice. And Biden in between. And they're still talking about this. It's like now when they're at the congressional hearings and they're asking about the economy and shit, and they keep talking about Joe Biden. It's like, there's been almost 2 years now. Joe Biden ain't got nothing to do with any of this shit that's going on now. I don't care whether you like Joe Biden or you don't. It's just a fact. Joe Biden ain't got shit to do with what's going on right now. Joe Biden didn't put the tariffs on. Joe Biden didn't start a war with Iran. Joe Biden didn't put algae in the fucking reflecting pool and turn it into a farm pond. It's like, might just go ahead and put some carp in there. They go full on white trash. Have guys noodling underneath the Washington Monument. Because that's what this country has become. We've allowed it to become this. And then you look at what's going on in Albania, where they said, oh, the Trumps are going to build some kind of resort on this island. There's been hundreds of thousands of people out in the streets for a week now or more about that. And meanwhile, Trump is over here stealing billions and billions of dollars, tearing down the White House. Telling you that he's going to pay for this shit, and now you're not. It's taxpayer money, $600 million for this stupid ballroom that nobody fucking wants except for him. It's like, and we just continue to take this because that bullshit they feed you about Americans, how like, oh, we're freedom lovers and we're rebels and we'll fight. Like, well, there's a bunch of bootlickers in this country. Spineless. They're either too ignorant to realize what's going on to them or dumb enough not to care. It's unbelievable. Yes, Ken says he's rooting for Ukraine. I'm rooting for Ukraine too, but like Apollo said, it's not like they can invade Russia. It's like it's more of a stalemate situation. Nobody's going anywhere. The alternative is for Ukraine to just lay down and let them walk over the country, and that's not going to happen. They've been fighting for years now. They've changed the way wars are fought now. They got these drones. I said, now everybody has drones. Won't be long before somebody does something here with drones. I promise you that. Won't be too long. They said that these guys. Now I don't know if I believe, but there was a plot to attack the UFC fight, they said. A bunch of guys in the chat room, seems like to me. But they were talking about using the drone to drop explosives. It was like, okay, where are they going to get explosives? You know? And then they showed one of the guys was from Ohio and showed his pictures. Like, you don't look like an explosive expert to me. Like, that's like ignorant. Jerk off from Ohio. He had a gun. Well, who doesn't? That's like, it's America. Like, dude, UFO was saying, everybody, UFO gaming saying, everybody got a gun in America. Well, ain't nobody fucking gonna do nothing, are they? That's like, I'm not saying you should, or I'm not encouraging that kind of activity. Of course, or Ty Blanche be knocking at the fucking door. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying the very fact that hundreds of thousands of people in Albania are marching in the streets because the Trump's trying to build a resort on this island for flamingos. And Trump is basically running over the Constitution, sent the army into the streets to kill Americans and kidnap them and drag them off the detention centers. And he shipped people out to black hole prisons in third world countries. Kidnapped the president of another country, bombed the shit out of Iran, caused the Strait of Hormuz to close. Never with it consulted Congress one time. It's like, tore down the White House, didn't ask nobody permission to do it, just did it. And we just take it. We just continue to pretend like everything's okay. Here's something you might not know I learned today. Apparently Kash Patel took $1 million and was giving payouts to FBI agents who would fuck with his enemies. $40,000 payment if you fuck with someone Kash Patel don't like. This country is a clown show. For anybody to be proud of what we have become, to me, is absurd. That's right. It's a fucking embarrassment, really. You should have saw the French president. There was that G7 and you know how they, like, Trump has met with Macron and they like shake hands and then they both sit down in these chairs and then Trump was talking and rambling on and Macron's face was hilarious. He's looking at the camera like, it's like everyone knows they're a fucking joke. Everyone thinks that Trump is a joke, and he doesn't see it because he's such a deluded narcissist. It's inside of his own head. He doesn't see that this guy's smirking and laughing at him 5 fucking feet away from him. Into the cameras. And the fact that this is who we send as our representative to a meeting of world leaders to represent us and our interests is fucking ridiculous. Trump doesn't have any interests except his own interests. That's it. And he lies constantly. Like I said, like this ballroom. The ballroom thing is just like the Mexico pay for the wall thing. It's the same thing. He just does the same thing over and over and over. People just take it. They just let him lie. I've never seen anything like it. And they don't get angry. I mean, some of his supporters are getting angry now, but I saw a guy was defending about how he said that he was going to pay for the ballroom, and then it was taxpayer money. He was like, well, they need to build that security, you know. I mean, he's so worried about security. He's sitting outside. Hey, Stuart, what's up? You came back. You've been gone for a while. I thought you were gone for good. Still living in a world of delusion, denial, and hypocrisy. Right? You are. If you're okay with all this, you think 2 pages is enough, Stuart? to end Iran's nuclear ambitions. 2-page memorandum of understanding. Iran's like, yes, we understand you're a dumbass. It's like, there's no way that you can pretend that this is a good situation. I'm sure you will try. But it's like when you turn on Fox, it's amazing. Like they try to pretend to you that everything is better than it was before. And like, how is it better than it was before? It's not better than it was before in any way. Shit's more expensive. He's blowing the fucking deficit out of the fucking, like I said. You know how much money this guy is spending? You know how much money it costs to run this war? It's already, they said it's already $500 billion or something. You're talking about $500 billion. Where's this money coming from? Stuart, what situation? Talking about the Iran. The 2-page memorandum. It's a peace deal. 2 pages. Just stapled together. It's like, you know, they usually come out, you know, like a big book, a big giant thick. It's like, this is the treaty. It is hundreds of pages. Guy come out with 2 stapled pages. Here it is. Heavily negotiated. It's like, it's a fucking clown show, bro. How can you pretend like it isn't? They said the JCPOA took 2.5 years. This guy was on TV last night said, you can't trust Iran because they said right in the JCPOA that they would have a nuclear weapon. And then, but they still tried to get a nuclear weapon. And they're like, yeah, after he tore up the fucking deal that said they would never do it. Till then, they were complying. And what he's going to get now is going to be the same thing. The inspectors in there looking at the inspection and make it, and they're going to enrich uranium to 60% or whatever it is that they can use for a reactor, but not for a weapon. It's going to be the same thing. Only it cost us $500 billion. And they now own the Strait of Hormuz, which they did not own before. And they're going to get $300 billion after he cried and bitched. And the conservatives made such a big deal about when they unfroze those assets. Obama did. It was like 70 billion or 70 billion or something like that. And now they're going to give them 300 billion. It's going to be worse. All because he tore up the deal because it had Barack Obama's name on it. Because he's a petulant, petty fucking child. And that's the bottom line. None of this had to happen. None of it. Blue Apollo says it's the same deal as the JCPOA, except Iran can do whatever they want with the Strait if provoked. It's a big L for the U.S., especially on the world stage. Yes, exactly. You call this national security, Stuart? Doing something and doing it good and right are 2 different fucking things. Just because he did something doesn't mean it's. Ken Catman says, just like Dark Helmet saying, I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes. Keep firing assholes. Right? How is this national security, Stuart? Iran is stronger than they were before. They're in a better spot than they were. They had to take a few bombs, but that was it. And in the long run, like I said, they're in a better spot than they were before he fucking did this. Just like I said, just doing something is not... It doesn't mean anything if you had thought out what you're trying to fucking do. He really thought it was going to be that easy. They were just going to drop bombs on him, and that would be the end of it. And they were just going to surrender and capitulate. You know why? Because he's ignorant. He doesn't know anything about Iran or the history of the people or or the history of the Middle East. He's a transactional used car salesman. He doesn't know how to think strategically about anything. He's a bumbling idiot. Blue Apollo says it's terrible foreign policy and they're reneging, going back to Barack Obama foreign policy. Right? But that's my point. Blue Apollo was, they negotiated and did you know this? The JCPOA had the signatures of almost all the Western countries and Russia and China. This deal you're going to get, Stewart, the 2-page memorandum, it's just Trump and them. The fuckers, see, this is why I don't like, it's unbelievable that you'd even say that. Kamala Harris has nothing to do with this. We can't go back and change any of that. We're living right now, right here, right now, with the consequences of the man you elected. But my problem with you guys is you yourself. You're like holding on to this image that you have of Trump. And the reality of the situation is, no, it did work, Stuart. They were complying with the deal. They only enriched to nuclear weapon capability after Trump tore up the fucking deal. The inspectors left the country, and there was no one watching. See, you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. That's the problem. Like, everyone, even the people on TV, the Trump nutlickers, they can't deny that it's a true fact. They didn't enrich past the limit until Trump tore up the deal, and the inspectors all left, and Iran was left to their own devices. And at that point, don't you think that's what I'm telling you is, at that point is when they began to think about what they're going to do if Donald Trump attacks them. And they laid plans, obviously, even secession plans if they all got killed. That's why the regime didn't collapse and they were able to maintain their leadership structure. You know why? Because these people are smarter than Donald Trump and they're smarter than you. Stuart, you didn't get to what I'm saying. You said Obama tried to buy off Iran. Trump's giving him $300 billion. What do you think about that? Because obviously you had a problem when Obama gave him some money. Now Trump's about to give him more than double what Obama gave him. What do you think about that? Probably got nothing. Huh? Blue Apollo says, I got the message early on, like 3 or 4 years ago, that Trump would go to war with Iran. So I just haven't voted at all since I turned 18. I don't blame you. But I would encourage you to go out this time and vote. And I know you won't do it, but what are you talking about? What's he doing now? See, you're disingenuous. Don't be like that, Stuart. He's doing the same thing now. But now you're okay with it. What the fuck is that? And he's not even getting what he does. He's not even getting what we got out of it before. Blue Apollo says, Stuart, how much do you think we have spent on this war? Yeah, exactly. Like I said, it's almost $500 billion now, they were saying. It's a lot of money, bro. And the longer that we stay out there, it's costing more money every single day. As long as they got aircraft carriers and all that shit out there, helicopters and planes, they still got 50,000 troops there, don't they? Got to house them, got to feed them. Got to get supplies there. Costs money. Everything costs money. Then when they drop bombs, he said the other day, we just dropped $250 million worth of bombs on them. That last salvo. It's like, let's just blow $250 million. It's what one last hurrah before we sign this paper. And what did he get out of that? And Pete Hegseth keeps saying, oh, we got the military option still on the table. What's the military option? To do what you've been doing that doesn't work? Why don't you just put a fucking $500 million in a trash can and set it on fire? Be just as effective. That's like... See, Stuart has nothing but whataboutisms. Do you have an actual thought in your head, Stuart? Or an actual opinion that didn't come from Fox News or directly from Donald Trump's True Social? Blue Apollo says, I'm going to vote during the primaries for Democrats. For the presidential election, I'm going to vote for a dark horse fascist that will put American safety in common. Why do you want a fascist, Blue Apollo? Here's what I don't understand about that. Now, why? First of all, I don't know why you embrace fascism, but secondly is, do you really think that you're going to elect a fascist and that sooner or later that you won't be on the block? Why do you young kids not care about your rights and freedoms anymore? That's the problem. Please ask me that, Blue Apollo. Why are you willing to give away your rights and freedoms for a fascist who will... I don't understand. I don't get it. I want to hear your explanation. Why do you not care? You know, that's what makes America different and special and different than other countries, that you have rights. That's why when people let Trump walk over their rights, it's offensive to me. I guess I'm from the old school where, you know, people fought and died for these rights for over years and years and years. This is your generations of your family's blood. People fight labor rights. You only have a living wage because people fought for it. There's only unions because people fought. They fought. Yeah, you ever seen Hoffa? You watch the movie Hoffa. I mean, it's a movie, so of course it's you know, fictionalized to some point, but a lot of it is based on real shit. Jeannie says Trump is my president. So you're happy with the 2-page memorandum of understanding? And letting Iran control the Strait of Hormuz. You're happy with Trump giving them $300 billion. You're happy with, you know, what do we get out of this, Jeannie? Stuart, I would love to find a Trumper who actually has thoughts. None of y'all have any thoughts. You're cult members who just say, Trump. And then when you lay out everything, you know, and try to have an actual discussion or debate, you don't have anything to say. I don't hate you, Blue Apollo. You come here all the time. Obviously, I don't hate you. You never answered my question. I want you to answer the question. Why do you not care about your rights and freedoms? Why are you willing to give away? Why do you think that you could trust one person, one strongman guy to have all this power? You see what power does to people. Why do you think that's a good idea? The system was set up. See, the reason why we're here now is because the system is broken. The way they set up the system was that the Congress would keep people in check. Now, I don't know. That's what people say. I don't like to label myself anything. I'm just saying, you said you thought I was a leftist. Well, you know, wouldn't that mean I would hate you too? That's not true, Stuart. You have never said anything. I beg you to say stuff all the time. I really want to know. It's like, how you can tell yourself that this is winning. Like I said, there's no achievable metrics that you can show me that things are going well. Not one. The fucking turning the reflecting pool into a shitty hillbilly pond is like a perfect metaphor for what's going on. It's like he took something that was okay. He gave it the illusion that it was beautiful. It only lasted for a day or two, and then it turned into a shitty algae-filled fucking pond. I said you might as well just dump carpet in it. It's like, That's what he's done to this country. How are we going to recover from the debt being higher than the GDP? There, Stewart, with no end in sight to his spending. Blue Paw says, my dad's a First Amendment auditor. That's what you said before. I know my rights very well. Right, but if you elect a fascist, you're elected to give away those rights. You don't understand the question? You're freely choosing to give away those rights. If you become a fascist and you vote for a fascist, government, if you know that that's what they're going to do. And my question is, why would you do that? To me, it's an interesting psychological phenomenon. Knowing your rights and giving them away, it's even more puzzling. I don't know. You said your dad is a First Amendment lawyer. No, I didn't see a paragraph. No. Or maybe it skipped by. Hold on, let me scroll up here. Oh, he says, here we go. We have rules in this country. None of the criminals are being held accountable while our rights as law-abiding citizens are being stripped. What does that mean? Yes, but you're you're saying that you want to strip them away more by electing a fascist. This is the part that I don't get. Yes, Jimmy, it's Stewie. Stewart says, Trump could cure cancer. You protect the right to die from cancer. If Hitler ran against Trump, you'd vote Hitler. Again, Fox News cliches. Shit I've seen on the internet all the fucking time. The shit that you all say. Because you're all clones. You're all programmed clones. You're in a cult. I wish that I could snap you out of it somehow. It's like, or maybe you don't have a brain that works. Maybe you never did. Maybe that's why you were vulnerable, to this kind of manipulation. I don't know. I don't know how it works. As I said, that's to me, that's the most puzzling part about the whole thing. Watching this. Jimmy says Stewie worships Trump like a god. It's creepy. Yes, exactly. Like when you turn on Fox, it's the same thing. Gutfeld and Jesse Waters, they fucking lick Trump's nuts all day. Blue Paw says my other message isn't going through, unfortunately, but I sent an actual response. Well, hey, send me an email. Bruce Leonard Leans laughed at Outlook.com, please. I'd like to know. I really want to know how you justify that. And you said just yourself in that little paragraph, like, our rights are being stripped. And like, yeah, so electing a fascist is going to help. No, that's what I always say is, this is the time where everybody needs to band together and push back this fascism. We'll deal with our differences later. Like you were saying before about the Israel thing, it's the same thing. So we got bigger fish to fry. These people are trying to take over the country. Trying to subjugate all of us. I never thought that I never thought ever that I would be having to even talk about this kind of stuff in America. Because like I said, they broke the system because the Congress is supposed to check the president. But they just put all these nutlickers in Congress and they got control of the Congress. And basically the Congress is just shut down. It does whatever Donald Trump wants them to do. And that's it. No, that's what I was saying, Jimmy. What are you talking about? I guess watching people get murdered by your government on live television isn't enough for you, Stuart. That's like, I'm sure you're trying to figure out a way to blame it on him. Yeah, I was talking about that, Jimmy, about how it proves how much pussies we are. We just take this. Like, they're out there in the streets, hundreds of thousands of them, about this island of flamingos. Meanwhile, this guy's ready to taking a bulldozer to America, wiping his ass with the Constitution, and no one seems to care. People like Stewart thinks he's the greatest. Genie think he's the greatest thing ever. And Jimmy's worried about his rights being taken away, and he thinks that the answer to that is to elect a fascist. What you don't understand is that that's what I keep trying to say, and I've been trying to say ever since this started happening. Well, that's good, Stuart. The show's supposed to be entertaining. As long as you're entertained, that's all that really matters, isn't it? But the truth is, when you give away your freedoms, you don't understand. They're hard to win. They're easy to give away. Once you give them away, you're not going to get them back. And if you hold some kind of illusion that you're special and that the fascists or whoever, they're not going to eventually come after you, you're wrong. You never read that poem about how they came for everybody and then they were all gone, and then when they came for him, there wasn't nobody to speak up because everybody else was already gone. Unless you want to become a bootlegger or whatever. Anyway, that's what I'm saying is the Blue Policies even agree with Stewart a lot more than he thinks. You know what? I believe that somehow. Because you're one of those people, Blue Pile. You're very puzzling because you're obviously not stupid. But these conclusions that you come to are very confusing and very contradicting. And it's hard to wrap your head around it sometimes. It's like you make sense a lot of times, and then you like veer off. You're like if you're all too old to remember Ross Perot when he ran for president. He was like that. He would say a bunch of good stuff, and you'd be like, yeah, for that, and then all of a sudden he'd say some crazy shit. You go, hey, wait a minute. Yes, with Blue Apollo, who was that? See, here's the fundamental flaw of your fucking super thing is that implies who's an American, Blue Apollo? Who gets to be in your bundle of sticks? That's the real question, right? And the people who aren't is the people like you said. After we solve these problems, it would turn around on them. You know, right? Blue Apostles, I know people view that as hate. Well, you know, I told you before, I respect your honesty. Libertad says, do I think that Trump's agreement with the Ayatollahs won't turn him into Obama plus? No, it's going to be Obama minus. It's worse. It's a worse situation than it was before. Because Iran now has the Strait of Hormuz and owns the Strait of Hormuz and knows that they can use it as a weapon whenever they want. He's empowered them. He didn't disempower them. And even if he gets, you know, back to like they already said today, they were talking about, inspectors are going to go back in and blah, blah, blah. And he's going to enrich his uranium. So they're still going to enrich uranium and they're going to have inspectors like they did before. And then now they own the Strait of Hormuz. And they're getting $300 billion for a reconstruction fund. It's a bad call, brother. It's a bad decision. He got his ass played. They didn't think this out. Because they're ignorant and arrogant. Pete Hegseth is worse, because I said he keeps saying about, if they don't do what we say, we're still keeping the military option on the table. What military option? The one that you've been doing that doesn't work? It doesn't work. Unless you're going to invade Iran with ground troops and take down the regime. And even if you do that, you think it's going to be fucking cakewalk? We did that. The fuck's that supposed to mean? Yeah, that's what I was just talking about, Jimmy. He said $20 million to turn the reflecting pool blue for one day. Then it turned into a fucking... looks like swamp people. he had deadliest catch guys in the Oval Office the other day. Did you catch that? See, he could just put Troy and those guys from the swamp people out there and floating around in the green pool. Jimmy says, so to be a conservative now, I have to get on my knees and kiss a rich person's asshole. Well, that's good to know. Yes, because he's a corporate fascist. Don't you get that? That's what these people are. And compiled by followers like Bootlick Stewart. He's not a Nazi, bro. Like, that's fucking some bullshit, too. Again, Fox News, fucking... Libertatis says he promised that support use our revolution against the Ayatollah's regime, but suddenly changed his mind, stop the war. Yeah, no, because they tried to kill the Ayatollah, which they did, and they thought that would decapitate the regime. But it didn't, because, like I said, they had planned this out. They had thought long and hard for at least a decade or more, I guarantee you, about what they would do if Donald Trump attacked them. They had secession plans. They had everything laid out. That's why the regime didn't collapse. I was talking about that earlier. And when they realized that the regime wasn't going to collapse, they knew they were fucked immediately because they're not going to invade Iran. You know how many fucking people will die if they invade Iran? A lot. And like I said before, even if they were to take down the regime, what happened in Afghanistan, what happened in Iraq, same thing that happened then. We'll just be there and people would just be sniping us off for as long as we can stomach that, and then we're just going to wind up leaving anyway. The whole thing was a fucking ridiculous bullshit. And if you are live in Iran or you're Iranian, I must apologize. Libertarian says they must support Iranian people. Actually, arm us. Yes, but they're too stupid. They tried to do that. They tried to they gave a bunch of weapons to the Kurds, and they were supposed to bring them to you, but the Kurds just stole the weapons. I don't mean, Jimmy, like we should invade Iran. I'm saying I apologize to people of Iran that they got caught up in this because it was totally unnecessary. I said everything was pretty all right, really, considering what it is now. And they weren't close to having a nuclear weapon. They never really were. They've been saying that for 25 years. I said, it's like a boogeyman thing that they use to fucking get you into fucking another war. Blue Apollo says, we fought and won a war against the Nazis because everything they were doing was evil. Why do you throw on the word Nazi like it's an insult? That word ruins people's lives today. Well, truth is, some of them are, bro. You can try to whitewash it all you want. The hard right are fucking Nazis. Those dudes who are going around with the black shirts in Belfast, burning down people's houses, those are fucking Nazis, bro. It's like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, they're just a bunch of right-wing leading good old boys. It's like, no, they're... When the black shirts come over the hill and start burning down your house. And I said, that's fascism, bro. Don't get no more Nazi than that. Jimmy says, yeah, I know, but like Vietnam, we just make it worse for them. Yeah, but in this case, we made it better. They're more powerful than they were before this. Whether you want to believe that or not, it's true. I do believe blue power, though. It is true that it is thrown around too much. Just because you have a one or two right-wing, or even more than that, right-wing points of view. But when you're a racist, violent fucking Nazi, you need to be called such. Period. There's nothing wrong with that. Now you're going to tell me that the January 6 people got their lives ruined. It's like... And they deserve that money. Either way, in Italy they were black. Stuart, go read a book. Blue Blue Apollo says yes, but people don't know the meaning of it. So every time they see a right wing person or someone critical of Israel, they are Nazis. Then calling everyone that. No, I agree with you, Blue Apollo. The more it's used, the weaker it is. That's why the actual Nazis are able to get away with it now, because people have said it for so much that. I said before, all Trump supporters aren't Nazis, but Trump supporters are aligned with Nazis. Period. Blue Apollo says, yeah, I see I would get called a Nazi online because I'm a group. Yeah, but you can't take what everybody says online. But anyway, I finished what you were saying. It says, yeah, and see, I would get called a Nazi online because I'm a groiper, but I hate violence so much, so it just doesn't make sense. Right? But like I said, it's like that's the word ignorant people use to, it's like when they call you a libtard or whatever else, but you can't fucking, the internet doesn't mean shit. I said that before. Like you could argue and shit with people online. I got a bit like that. Like you go online, right, and you think that the world is ending. Everybody is like, fuck you, no, fuck you, no, fuck you, unfriend, block, no, fuck you. Then you go to a bar or something. You're like, hey, how you doing? And they're like, oh, I'm good. How are you? It's like people aren't like that in real life. The internet's not real life. That's the other part that you got to understand. A good chunk of it is fake. Jimmy says fascism came out of Italy. Trump wants to be Mussolini. Yeah, exactly. The American Mussolini. Anyway, I got to get out of here. Libertad says, don't apologize for war. More innocent people were killed by the regime before America attacked. The Iranian regime even broke records, killed more people than Nazis. The war weakened the regime. It did, but it didn't put you in a position to do anything about it. I mean, if you guys do eventually overthrow that regime, I'm all for it. I'm just saying I don't think that people can get it. Jimmy says all politics get people to like you. Trump politic, attack everyone and then cry like a bitch when you lose. Yeah, exactly. That's the authoritarian way. The victim of all times. These Trump people are viciously attacking all independent registered voters. Awesome strategy. Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't think that, like I said, I don't think we're going to get through this election without him trying some ridiculous shit. They're already setting it up, They're not just going to willingly give away the power. That's what I'm saying. You see what they did on January 6th. And you think they're just going to willingly give up the power? Like, I don't think so. That's the problem with fascist Blue Apollo. Jimmy says they're viciously going after independent voters now. It's 40% of the country. Yes, because they're deluded. Like I said, it's a deluded cult. They really believe that everybody, that's what, like that thing, that song I played before was like, Trump, everybody loves Trump. It's like everybody doesn't love Trump. He's just the lowest approval of any fucking president in the history of the world. Jimmy says, I think a lot of people around him are scared of prison when he's gone. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's why they're trying to anchor themselves and write permanent pardons for themselves and saying Trump is free and clear from any tax. No more audits. It's like, I think it's a distraction. I think Pete Hegseth has just as many white supremacist fucking Christian nationalist tattoos all over his body. No one seems to give a fuck. But I don't know. I said I was talking about that before. Like I wish they could have found a guy who didn't have all these fucking problems. Blue Apollo says they're gonna impeach and subpoena everyone in the administration. Yeah, they fucking should. These people are running roughshod over everything and stealing all your money. Anyway, I gotta get out of here. If you just stumbled upon this show today, you never seen me before, like I said, please like the channel, subscribe to the show. I'm here every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Except for Thursday, I'll be here at 5 because I'm going to see Paul Simon. So the show will be early. If you want to send me a private message, like I told Blue Apollo, it's Bruce Leonard Leans Left at Outlook.com. Again, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, United States, I am here. But Thursday, I'll be here at 5 because I'm going to see Paul Simon. And I'm going to get off here now. So please go out, enjoy yourself tonight, or the basketball's over. We're just waiting for football. But please like the channel, subscribe to the show. Thanks for hanging out with me. Good night.
Hey, everybody.
If there was something new to see, I guarantee I'd be the first to be standing there bathed in that light. Until that day I'll keep my eyes shut tight. I do not want to pick a fight. I feel more at night. Oh, wait another